What's up, folks? Welcome to another interview of the Builder Talks. And today we are with one of my favorite builders and also a great friend. We have Limone here.
Hello, hello. How's it
What's
going,
up?
Guampi? Thanks for inviting me.
No problem, man. I'm really excited actually for this interview. You have been all over the world. You have been building on all the top of ecosystems out there, and you are one of the reference when it comes to Farcaster. And we have some kind of cool news about Farcaster. So I'm really excited to talk a bit about that. What do you think about the
Uh-huh.
developer ecosystem evolving there? We can even talk about base, builder rewards. A lot of things are happening. So yeah, super excited about this one.
Can't wait to dive in, honestly.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I know you. Probably the whole community knows you, but please go ahead and give a quick intro about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I'm from Rome, Italy. I've always been living here, but in the past 3 or 4 years, I've been traveling a lot. Ever since I started working in Web3, I've been around hackathons and conferences like worldwide because I always needed to connect with other like-minded people. And of course, I also started, growing a grassroots community here in Rome because at the same time, I also wanted to connect with people without having to travel all the time. You know what I mean? My background is in tech, computer science and engineering. I've been, working in startup as software engineer, backend engineer, full stack engineer for 7 years now, and I'm slowly transitioning towards more of a product role, let's say. So instead of actively hands-on coding, thinking more around the product, the growth mechanics, viral mechanics, and features and all that comes with it. I've co-founded Urbe.it, which is one of the most active communities in Europe at this point when it comes to Web3 builders, education, hackathons, and workshops. And we have a hub in Rome where I'm calling from. It's the first of its kind in Italy. And then I also co-founded Builders Garden, which is a product studio building consumer crypto experiments, now focused on games. We shipped a bunch of games, and we are so excited about, bringing real money into games because it makes it, more spicy, more fun, and we feel like stable coins are a great tool to do that. That's it. That's a brief, I guess.
That's it.
Did I miss anything?
That's the only thing I made. That's all. That's great. I had a trouble on the past that it was differentiating between Urbe, that is actually the community that has your
Mhm.
main hub on Italy, with a Builder's Garden, that is the actual agency
Yeah.
that you're running. You told me, I mean, with Builder's Garden, you build some of the most successful mini apps out there. Can you share some of them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it all started with frames 2 years ago. The first version of mini apps, we fully embraced it and we started experimenting with them. And a lot of companies started reaching out to, get some help. And so we were pushing a lot of innovation there. And then, of course, when the mini apps, like the new spec, came up 1 year ago at this point, we were super excited about it. And the first thing we wanted to try, remembering the old Facebook days, we rebuilt a game like Farmville inside a Farcaster mini app, so embedded within the social graph. And Farmville has been one of the most retentive mini apps on the platform, on the network. And it helped us, of course, learning a lot of things about building mini apps, building viral products, using the social graph and all the shareable moments and notifications that you can create to engage users. And of course, it helped us bringing a lot of attention and interest from other companies or founders that needed help in shipping mini apps. And so from Farville on, I think we shipped more than 25 mini apps at this point, of different types, from quiz, finance, AI and fitness, AI generation stuff, like very different consumer use cases. I'd say the most successful one we worked on, like definitely like Farville. Squabble is another game that we built that kind of set the basis for how to use mini apps inside group chats, so that you have like an agent that you can contact to create, let's say, this game session, and the agent returns you a mini app to access the lobby of the game, and then you join the game with your friends in a group. You buy in, let's say, you stake $1 to play, and at the end of the game, who wins gets the pot. So we always try to be creative. I think that the last one that we shipped, that is called Impossible.fun, is introducing a new thing that I've never seen before. That is, to play the game, the mini app asks you to turn the phone horizontally, because it's a platformer. And so I've never seen any other mini app that has done that. And I'm so excited to see how the world reacts to it.
Okay, you share a lot of information. The first thing that comes to my mind is Pedro, that is the CEO of Talent. Huge shout out to him. I think we were on Buenos Aires on Dev Connect, or on Cannes during ETC, and I was seeing him, and he was like, "Look," and I was like, he was farming things on farming, like a 2 years old kid, and I and I was like, "What are you doing?" And he was like actually playing that game. He was like, he has like alarms to get eggs. I don't know. I don't know how
Yeah,
it works. Never played it. I played Pet Society back then on the times. That's all.
yeah, no, that Farville was crazy because there were some users, including Pedro, like with more than 300 days streak. So they basically like never stopped playing for a year, and there were like more than 1,000 users playing for 100 days in a row. So like crazy metrics of like usage. Never built anything like that so far. And now we have an evolution of it. So we shipped 1 month ago before Christmas a game like Farville, where you need to plant and grow your digital crops, but these crops are actual on-chain assets. And this means that there's now like a marketplace peer-to-peer where people are exchanging crops that they grow, seeds that they get, for USDC. And it's been funny to see how the market has been moving, how the price is like moving within the different seasons logic that we implemented. And it's fun because in the end it's like this like simple games that you don't need to spend much time like thinking on a strategy, but you just do it because it's fun to play with friends and help each other or compete with each other. And with the new version there are real money at stakes.
If you were able to rank me your top 5 mini apps, what would they be?
Top 5, it's
Yeah, that you build,
that
or
I
your team,
built.
that your team in general built.
I think Rise of Farms, this new one, is the top, is the best one so far in terms of like efforts and tech implementation and user experience, like the complexity of things that we put together, and the final result. I think that's the best one so far. Farville, of course, is another is the main one that allowed us to build the 25 mini apps after. I think one that we worked on that was a client project that we really liked was Grieve by Igor.
That counts for sure. Grieve is the fitness one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a fun one because in a social network with all these people, it's always fun. At least like was fun to share. Like the daily runs or workouts that we were all doing, just like to share for accountability, or even just to mock each other on results or not. That's the third one. One that we didn't build actually, but we advised is Emerge, which is actually my probably my favorite mini app ever. Because I think it really like they really nailed like the social mechanics within the mini app and the agent in the feed, and it's so fun. Like I used it like ton of times to generate these AI images using my profile pictures and applying on top of it different type of transformations or generation, and even the group feature that they recently released where you can generate this AI image with your like your friends using a specific theme. It's so cool. I think it's definitely like my favorite, or at least like the one that I use the most, besides Farville and the other games. Fifth one, let's see. What do we have here? Maybe Squabble, the other game that I was mentioning. Oh no, actually, there's another one that I like more. It's Control the Stream. Control
Oh
the
yeah, I was waiting for
control
you to actually mention that one.
Control the Stream. We're like so excited about it. We worked on it with the Rollup, which are like an incredible like live streaming brand on X and multiple channel, talking about crypto news, of course. And we worked on this project with them because they always been like innovating in the space, and so we got a lot of inputs from them in what were like the really like needs in terms of like I don't know viewers engagements, monetization as a creator. And what we end up building is an overlay for your stream that you can plug on top of OBS. And this overlay reacts in real time according to how people are interacting with the mini app while they are watching the stream. So you have a mini app on base, and you can watch, let's say, the Rollup live stream, and you can send tips, you can trade tokens that they feature, you can bet on prediction markets that they highlight, you can vote on questions that they ask or polls, and all this stuff appears in real time on the screen. And so whenever you tip, it appears like this small pop-up, Limone tipped, I don't know, $1. When you vote, it's the same. And so makes like the streaming more interactive, and gives creators a new way to monetize the engagement that they generate. And the coolest thing, honestly, is indeed like the OBS integration, so that you as a streamer, you don't need to change your stack. As long as you use OBS or any other, like live streaming software that supports these dynamic overlays and sources, you can cast to any distribution channel. It could be X, it could be YouTube, it could be, I don't know, Twitch, Zora, whatever. And then your fans, the one that want to interact with you, the power viewers, the power users, can use the mini app to support you, to engage with you in real time. So that's, I think it should be like upper in the ladder probably. I forgot about it, but it's one of my favorites.
That's actually great. I'm super bullish on like on-chain payments for like tipping for streaming. That makes no sense for sure. I don't know why, but I feel like X, like they are going all in on articles, all in on videos, all in on streaming, blah blah blah. And I think actually they are going to implement their own tipping system. Who knows? Maybe, but that could be a great overlay to use for Twitter streams. Probably I will set it on my next streams. I don't know, but that's great. And I mean, regarding Farcaster, most people know you from there. They also know you from like talent base, all these trending systems. And we hear the news. It was yesterday actually, or the day before yesterday.
2 days ago, yeah, 2 days
Yeah,
ago.
2 days ago, that Farcaster is getting acquired by Neinar, and like the founders are like stepping down. And I want to know like your opinion. I see you posted some things, but I think you try to maintain cool your true opinions or thoughts. Like, what do you think as a builder that was spending the last 2-3 years building all over Farcaster? Like, are you bullish? Are you bearish? Will you continue on Farcaster? What are your thoughts of why this happened? Like, spit out all the shit.
I'm definitely like more bullish now.
Okay.
when it like the past weeks and the past months have been like particularly hard for us because as you might know, like we're also organizing Farcon in Rome this year, and of course like the overall sentiment that was like not really positive in the community wasn't helping us in the organization, in the direction, in understanding if the community was like still up to show up, or what type of content to propose. Like it's been like very hard to figure out what to do, if to step back or not, like whatever. But that said, like when there was like the pivot end of last year, um, I wasn't really understanding like all the, let's say, the negative sentiment around the decision that the team made, because I always like trusted the judgment of Dan, Varun, and the Merkle team in moving Farcaster uh, anywhere that will bring in more users, more volumes, and more traction for all our mini apps or agents in the feed, right? And so I was I was totally okay with it, and I'm still am. Of course, like it didn't really work probably because it created like these bad sentiment from the core community that I have to say impacted on me as well in the end, because I stopped casting, I stopped interacting within the protocol. But I don't blame them for the decision in moving it towards like trading. Of course, like I'm not, like the biggest fan of like trading and speculation. What I like to do is, building and
Because
make.
I'm bad at it. If I were good, I would do probably good.
Yeah, but also because what I like to do, I would like to spend my time is building things, experimenting, making new things, right? And Farcaster always provided a lot of like Lego blocks, cool Lego blocks for us to experiment with, and that's what always excited me about it, and also all the people that were attracted there, all the incredible builders and founders and creators, like they always been there because of that, and of course, like yeah, the news that it was acquired by Ninar, it was a good news for me because like the vision that Rish shared in their blog post and cast is like totally aligned with everything I always been looking for on Farcaster, like a place where you can experiment with frontier technology, get early adopters, hopefully get to like recurring revenue without too much steps in the middle. And so I I feel energized again. I feel more like involved within the community. I feel like it's at least like this couple days, the energy I've seen there has been more positive and more like we used to have back in the days, let's say. But I think that like the work that Dan and Varun and the team did is incredible. Like they've been steering this thing for 5 years, like hard working, making hard decisions, moving fast, and the product is actually like a very good product. Like the Farcaster
Yeah.
app, it's super smooth. Like they introduce a lot of like new features, even with the wallet. Like it's super easy to use. Um, but of course, like it's part of the game that like sometimes like things don't go as you expected or as you planned, and it's honorable for them, the fact that they gave back like all the money to the investors. So they also have been like very conservative with the funding that they used and the burn rate. So I think it's net positive because like now Neinar, which has always been like closer to the builders, like with all their APIs and SDK and infrastructure, they can steer Farcaster with much less pressure on top of their head. And so hopefully this will allow them in, taking the time, direction, and the thing that really clicks.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, Neinar was always like providing the tools for all the builders, and now they have like full control of the whole protocol, so they can start doing some cool experiments, more risky experiments on top of it. So I think the overall benefit people would be at the end builders, and that are most of the also Farcaster users are mostly builders. Like now we have
Yeah.
mini apps and everyone is shipping their own mini apps with AI. Now that's crazy. It's crazy that everyone can ship their own app inside a Farcaster. And yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, and regarding like the base app, like you know, the base app uses Farcaster. They also have their own version of mini apps. What
Mhm.
are your thoughts on the base app? Because there's a lot of controversy. People really didn't fully like the base app. They are still using Farcaster. Now the base app also shift into a more financial approach. Like, which is your opinion on that? What would make the base app better?
I think like the Farcaster app is definitely like in a better position now in terms of like user experience. I won't say like not only like referring to how, let's say, information or features are organized, but just in terms of like how responsive is the app when you use it. I feel like it's much better. Um, for what concerns like the base app, like the main thing that I'm not understanding, or at least I'd love to change. Let's say it's how many apps are indeed showcased, because in the beginning, like mini apps are at the front door of the base app. So like the first thing you were like seeing when opening the app were the featured mini apps and the different categories, right? While right now, like mini apps are 2 clicks away from the app open, and of course, like this doesn't help with distribution and discovery at all, and this is one of the main purposes of mini apps, like making them a tool for easy distribution, easy validation. So if it's not easy to discover them, great part of their value proposition, like the mini app value proposition, falls down, because like nobody goes on, let's say, the base app in this case, and looks for a specific mini app like you do on the app store to download an app, right? And so I feel like on Farcaster is working much better, the discoverability part, because the feed of casts and posts, of course, it's doing a great job at surfacing like posts that also have mini app embeds that build on the virality loop, and at the same time they have a specific tab for the mini apps on the bottom bar, so super easy to understand like where they are and that they are actually a thing. While on the base app, and I'm sure like they are working on it, the mini apps are not the front door, like they look like something that is secondary, which given the last transition, I understand that like trading is the new focus, and so mini apps are only one piece of the puzzle when it comes to bringing trading volumes. And so of course I don't know all the internal metrics of the base app, so where like most of the, let's say, transactions happen in the app, if it's like from a post or from some people just like trading tokens because some friends like did that in the feed, or how much like mini apps are actually driving transaction. And so without this picture, it's also like difficult to understand what's the reasoning behind this structure. So yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think that I asked Jesse this question on Twitter, and it's about like the mini apps, if they are like still going to be a focus of base rather than now they are focusing like on more a financial approach. They say yes. I think that we are going to start seeing like more financial focus mini apps, like for example a mini app from each country where it focuses on their local stable coin or on swap
Mhm.
bridges, all that. Not sure about like gaming, farm bill, of course, and all those things. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I'm still like super bullish on social, so I actually want this to keep pushing. But that's at least what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it looks like social is not a big priority.
in the whole industry. I mean, Lens was acquired, Farcaster was acquired, Base moving to finance. It's like the whole, whole social ecosystem like going a bit down the cycle.
But on this, I think that like the main problem, and maybe the thing that is causing more like rage on crypto Twitter as well is that everybody like probably considers like Web3 social as a just a new and version of like Web2 socials that we know how they work. There's like a content feed that you need to scroll and like consume information, right? While maybe Web3 social and crypto social is not really about changing or let's say improving that, but embedding within that new financial primitives that then create different types of content. And so like both Farcaster and the base app, but even Lens, maybe they failed on the expectation of a lot of people because people expected Twitter but decentralized, which nobody really cares about that. But still, maybe we all still need to figure out what it means, like Web3 social, what changes, and to me is actually like embedding money in the equation, embedding like programmable money in the equation actually, and not sure yet where this will bring. Of course, like content coins and creator coins are something like here, definitely like an experiment that maybe didn't go well as well, but who knows? I'm still like bullish on it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I still think that there were like some premises like own your own content, like be the owner of your keys, are really interesting. Just people really didn't care about that. But something about the new Forecaster shift that calls my attention is about the developer rewards that were like super cool. A lot of people are like want them to be back. They sunset them for now, and I'm doing a final push to make developer rewards in collab with talent, as we are doing like the builder rewards with other ecosystems. And I don't know, I want to know like your thoughts on that. You have earned a lot of ETH thanks to this builder reward program. For those that don't know, is basically build open source on GitHub on chain. We track those metrics, and based on your impact, we reward you every week. What would you reward on builder rewards for Farcaster? Which data would you track?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. Like they sunset developer reward because there were some people spamming or cheating on it. So like there was like no real, like there were some people, some builders like optimizing for like the algorithm that was defining the rewards instead of building an actual mini app that was meaningful, right? And so that's the reason why they shut down developer rewards. But I'm sure that like Rish and team maybe will figure out a way to make it more fair and efficient, let's say. With respect to like metrics, I think the metrics they were using were fair for everybody and the right ones. So like if you are, of course, like they should be aligned with the main platform. So Farcaster as an app was looking for ways to increase number of like daily active users and number of daily transacting users, right? And so the metrics that they were tracking were totally aligned towards that. Maybe something that I wish they also tracked is not only like transactions coming from the Farcaster wallet directly, but also from embedded wallets within the mini app. Because we experimented a lot with like smart wallets and embedded wallets to ease the user experience. And actually like Rise of Farms in just 1 month, it casted more than 600,000 user operations. So like it's a huge number of transactions like going directly to Base. And of course, like using Base, builder codes and all this stuff, hopefully like we will get rewards in some ways or another. But still, I think the core metrics should be daily active unique users or monthly active unique users, number of transacting users, volume, which always counts. Like should be somebody that is driving more volumes with the same amount of users should be rewarded more, in my opinion. And then what else? No, I think these three that they always use are good ones. Honestly, it's just about figuring out how to avoid people hacking it.
And I mean, you say that you are going to still build on Farcaster, Builder's Garden. We still focus on like mini apps, but which is like the roadmap? Is there like a short-term shift? Maybe you are expanding to other ecosystems, like which is your short-term and long-term plans for both, for Limone and also for Builder's Garden in general?
Yeah, so we are definitely like expanding to Word as well now. So we are shipping mini apps there and experimenting with the Word ecosystem. Because I think in the past we always been like over-indexing our strategy on just like mini apps for the sake of mini apps, while the market is 100% like not there yet. And so if you want to build like something at scale that hopefully is also venture backable or so, you need to grow beyond that. And so we are now like using mini apps and the different platforms as let's say a launchpad where we can easily, or a playground maybe where you can easily test and validate something with the idea of already, like a long-term plan to shift toward a larger market. And in our case, what we're working on now with all the experience we made in the past couple of years is, especially in gaming, we are working on productizing all the internal tools and infrastructure that we use to build games with real money, so that we can serve these infrastructure, SDK, or like whatever it is going to look like, to other developers to speed up game development, so that they can take care of the gameplay logics, gameplay dynamics, and they can use ready-made building blocks to embed money, whether it's for a tournament, for a wager, for a marketplace, so that they care about what matters about the game, that is fun. You know what I mean? And of course, like this thing can be targeted to Web3 native developers, but then we also know that there's a big, like Web2 market for this type of games that is still built on old rails, which are slow and inefficient. And so we want to use mini apps as a platform to validate and start building this thing with some design partners, hopefully, but then slowly understand how to target Web2 games on the App Store that use, I don't know, PayPal or bank transfers, and maybe want to use a more efficient system. So that's how I'm saying it. Of course, like then if for any reason like the base app grows or the Farcaster app grows and the number of users on that you can access of mini apps like skyrockets like to Facebook level, then the strategy can change and you will be able to use those platforms to really build something at scale. But right now it's simply not there, and if you are relying on it, it's a weakness more than an advantage. So you should take advantage of this platform for what they can give you, which is like early adopters, like thousands of early adopters. On Word you can reach like 100,000 of people, so it's even like a little larger, but still it's not enough 100%.
Yeah, that's crazy. World is going like huge on mini apps, and now with the AI era, I mean, that's crazy. So I'm glad that you are expanding to that world. I'm not that into it. I probably need to study a bit more about how they work. But yeah. Uh, well, that was great. Actually, it was great chatting with you, knowing a bit more about like your plans, like what do you actually think about the Farcaster. That's why I only wanted to ask you this question during the live stream. Um, there are a lot of things probably going to happen around that ecosystem in the future weeks. So I'm super excited to actually learn about that. But yeah, thanks for being here, Limon.
Yeah, I mean it's been a pleasure chatting, and I hope to see you at Farcon Rome.
Who knows? Maybe not. We will see. I'm only going back because of the pasta. Pasta there was really great.
Had a great
So
dinner, yeah.
yeah. So yeah. Thanks for being here and see you on the next one, guys.
Thanks. Ciao, ciao.